All right, good afternoon, students. Right, how are you? Okay, so we have had our first class last week, right? So let us just do a bit of recall of what we did last week. Let me share the screen first. Okay, good afternoon. Okay, first of all, first week, what did we do? We learned about mobile app development, right? So we learned about there are three modes to do mobile app development. First one, you can do a mobile web. Just do a website, and then that can run on a mobile browser. That's all, right? You can have an app like Facebook. You have a Facebook mobile app, and then we can do mobile native. Right, native, there are two main platforms. The rest is very small. So the main market are Android and also iOS, Apple. Right, so remember I talked about globally, Malaysia, China, anywhere in the world, 80%, almost 80%, 3/4 or slightly less than 80% are Android, and the rest iOS, the market. And then last but not the least, we can do hybrid. Includes, for example, cross-platform, right? For example, React Native, and then what else? Flutter, if you want to do using Google, Flutter. The language is Dart. You can use Dart to do that. All right, you can also do a lot. You can have Ionic, Cordova, and then nowadays we have something called Kotlin, KMM, Kotlin multi-platform. Using specific SDK for using Kotlin and etc. All right, a lot, right? Cross-platform. Cross-platform meaning you develop one project and the project can be compiled, can be built for Android and also for iOS, either one. And then last week we also talked about Android, right? Android as a stack, software stack. Remember? Android software stack, we have a slide, full slide of introduction to Android. Right, so under Android software stack, you just need to remember a few things, important one, which is API level. Right, so every Android software stack has a version, right? We call it version. At the moment, the latest one is already Android API level 32. Latest one, but we are going to just use 31. Right, this is Android 12. Android current version is up to Android 13 beta. It's very new, 13. So don't go for 13, go for Android 12. Right, operating system, Android operating system 12, and then API level 31 or SDK. API level stands for SDK, so you can download and install SDK 31. Right, and the tools related to SDK 31. Right, so other than that, I think, yeah, sufficient for last week. We have introduction to this, and then we also have an introduction to Kotlin. Right, today we are going to fully focus on doing Kotlin. Kotlin programming as a new language for you. Many of you are new, right? Even though some of you are also new to Java, but I choose to teach more on Kotlin. Right, later in the project you can choose to use Kotlin or Java. But even you are not familiar with Java, I encourage you to self-learn. But of course, sometimes I can give you some example. Java, both of them, these are the main language used for Android native. Android native. Okay, let me go to the, before we start, let me go to the assignment team. Some of the students need me to help on the team member. So let's discuss on that first before we start the class. All right, this is the team registration so far. Barring some team that register for 2 times, I will just take the latest one. Let me sort it. Right, so there are team that register for 2 times, right? Law Gawei, right? This team registered for 2 times, so I just tap one. I will hide one of them. So the latest one is this one. So I remove this one. Right, so far I haven't received still some student. So this is COVID tracker. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, altogether 17 teams. Right, 17 teams. Some teams are with 2 members, right? Some teams are with 3. So if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 teams are with 3 members. 8三24，altogether 8 times 3， 8乘3， 24个，还有其他的，17， so another 9 teams are with 2， so we have altogether 18 students, right? So far we have only 9 9 28 8 3 24 42 students registered, right? 42 students registered, but we have 54. Right, together total we have 54 students in the subject. So I suppose some of you haven't got any members yet. Now maybe you are not in the classroom. Some of you didn't attend the class, right? You do it offline. So I would like to ask any of you in the class that you need help for forming team. The 5th row is invalid because I submitted twice. The group is the order. It's okay. The team, is it the same? 青色, let me see. 青色, 5th group, 5. Manchester United. Okay, 青色. Is it the same member? Lon Qingzhe, An Chia Hong, and Lim Ho Shun. Are they the same?
Sir,
Yeah.
the Manchester United one is the newest one because I added 1 member. The group one is the old one, only got 2 member.
Okay. So and the name with your name, the other one is the old one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this one is all one. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
So
Okay,
we
thank
have
you, sir.
less already. We minus 2 more. So only 40. Yeah, 40. Here is 8 only. Okay, 还有其他人呢？去了哪里？14个。How we still have 14 students not registered. So I don't know whether you are in any team or not. I want to help you. 14. 14个不在。So 有人没有 group 吗？ Anyone no group here in this classroom? So let me see. Today we have 49 students here. 49, right? But my Excel here is only 40 total. So 最少这个课里面也会有8、9个是没有 team 的。According to this lah, right? So if you have not registered and you plan to register this week, let me know. Any one of you need my help to find group because you are maybe not familiar with anyone else. 不熟悉任何一个朋友。你不认识人 because your cohort you are not this cohort 不是这一届的，你是比较早的学生或者比较新的学生，有需要我的帮忙吗？ My help for group 不要做long ranger 如果能够的话有选择的话don't be long ranger means 一个人做很辛苦maybe you need maybe some of you think that you can do better individually, but in my opinion, this is to help you to learn teamwork. Please let me know. I give you the link now, right? If you can, you register now. You already know someone, then just don't hide it to yourself. Let me know. Right, you have team member, you let me know now so that I can arrange for presentation and so on later. 不要说你知道了你 team member 不过你不告诉我 you don't tell me then suddenly the presentation time appear many groups, right? So here this form just register, right? I'll give you 1 more week this week to settle because we don't have to rush for the group, but I want to help you so that you don't wait until last minute, right? By next week, I want to see whether I have total add up is actually 54. 加起来要54个人在这个 form 上面才对。好 ，so far 我只是收到3组跟2组，2个人的跟3个人加起来数学啦 ，unless my mathematics is wrong。8乘3 24，8 20 16啊，这个是16。Okay, so it's 40 only. Right, so please let me know by next week. Right, the other 54 and 14, sorry, 14. Right, so maybe you have your group later, can, but let me know early. Register on the Microsoft form that I gave you just now. All right, for the assignment, okay, let's go to the assignment. The first assignment, our submission deadline, tentative deadline is the coming 30th of April, 30号，4月30号我已经写在那里了。Deadline 4月30号。Let me know your issue now, mockup. I will put up some sample to Moodle for you to refer. 好，4月30号。Right, I'll update this file on Moodle later 哈。这个记得哈，这个 mockup 的 team project。Team assignment is on the 30th of April, this assignment, right? So last week I mentioned to you, right? You do something like this, prototype, right? Prototype or mockup. I call it mockup because it's a mockup, right? 不是真的啊。So you can use software like Figma. Let me show you a software called Figma or any software that can help you to do this very well, right? So you just get the software, then show navigation also. Navigation. So I have many sample of your past year students, your senior. So I will share a few, I'll select a few good one. I will post it to Moodle later after class by today. So I'll give you some sample. This is not wireframe, this is actually mockup. So do mockup. If you want to do wireframe as well, you can do both. Right? I don't stop you from doing wireframe. If you want to do wireframe and mockup, you can do both. Right? But mockup is the compulsory. Mockup must be there. Sorry, this is not individual, group. I didn't change this one. Group, group, should be group. Don't do individual because this is same project for the team member, So the group. And any question on this? If you want to use Figma, I show you, this one. I can show you on some project students shared with me on Figma. Right, wait, let me load. Right, Figma. Right, some of you may have account already in Figma that you can access this Figma. Like this is one of your senior project last time, SWE401 Right, so they submitted PDF, submitted JPEG, PNG to me, but they also share the Figma project with me so I can see how during presentation. This is their example. 看到吗？看到吗？这个就是你的 assignment 要做的。I have, this is one of the group. 可以吗？你知道要做什么？画罢了啦。所以用这个 Figma 的好像 Microsoft Word 画图。Right, so there are many. We don't have time to learn how to draw using Figma. But if you have question, you have issue, you can call me. You can WhatsApp me. You can contact me. Right, this is quite easy to just design. Design all this component on Figma. Right, I think many of you have learned before. You can use other software also, but this is free, web version and also desktop. You can download the desktop version and do it on the desktop. But if it is web, you can collaborate. 2 members remotely, both can work on the same project. Okay, let me show you one more Figma project. Right, this is another student, another group. Right, another group. 他们做得蛮不错。So copy and paste lah. Like once you do one button, you can copy and paste and move it to another screen and do again. So you must design first. This is your design for the app. Okay, Figma. There are many sample template on Figma. You can look for it. You can search. All this you have icon and so on. They are template. Right? Just learn how to do it. Right? So 1 month 这个月4月4号、4月30号，所以还有1个月，差不多1整个月。So this is another project Figma. And I show you one more then before we start the class. Right, another project. This student very detailed, this group, right? Very detailed, huh? Did very well, right? Figma, huh? They show the chart. You can show longer, huh? Because sometimes your screen can scroll, right? So when you scroll, you have a lot more other down there that you cannot see, huh? In the real screen. But here in the Figma, you can scroll, right? So you show the full length. 可以吗？有问题吗？好 ，example 啦 ，example. I can upload some example online to Moodle for you to check, for you to see. Right, assignment 1. This is start from here first before you do actual Android development. Right, start from here. Start from here. Right. Then after that, you can draw the navigation. So you can export the file to JPEG and then you pass it into your Microsoft Word and then you show the line, the navigation. In Figma, I think you can also do navigation, right? Navigation, you can link when you click a button, which screen you go to and things like that. So it takes time for you to pick up, but it's okay. So we have time. And so this is assignment 1. Any question for assignment 1? Because that day after class, a lot of people ask me something that I say, well, I want to explain in the class, right? So that everyone is clear. Any question? 有问题吗 ？On assignment 有问题吗？就是要做这个assignment 要做的 assignment 1先把它做一个蓝图 blueprint, right?这个是蓝图，整个 app 的蓝图 ，right? Blueprint before we proceed to develop. Right, develop will learn the skill Java, Kotlin, and XML to do it. Okay, if you have no question, then we'll start the class. Right, Kotlin today. Before we start the class, I have a very short slide to share with you. Right, the slide is already on Moodle. I just updated it on Moodle. Introduction to Kotlin. Let me show you. On Moodle, you can access this one. Introduction to Kotlin here, Kotlin. Right, Kotlin under the lecture. Right, before I start also I tell you some student requested over the weekend. Sorry, okay, over the weekend to ask me to create a video on media site. Media site is here directly in Moodle. Media site. Upload the video to media site also. So I have done so. So but this one need me to take a bit of time to download from OneDrive, and then I process it into high definition and so on into OneDrive, media site. So you can have the media site version also, right? I also put it on YouTube, right? So those of you who can access YouTube, you can also get the video from YouTube, right? So if you want, I'll create a playlist next time. So the class is on YouTube, right? So a lot of places you can access, right? So not necessarily must be OneDrive. The original one recorded by Teams is on OneDrive. Then I'll get it. I'll just process it again to media site, right? Moodle, media site, and also YouTube, right? So this one give me a bit of time for media site and YouTube, right? Might take a bit of time for me to do the processing. And then OneDrive is automatic, very fast. After class, normally 1 or 2 hours, you'll be out. So pay attention to that. And past year videos here. Okay, so let's download this Kotlin introduction to Kotlin 1, introduction to Kotlin 2. Right, download the slide. I'll start with a bit of introduction to Kotlin. It's not a lot. It's not important to actually learn the theory, but I need to tell you some new feature of Kotlin. Some new feature of Kotlin. Give me a while. I open my slide first. Any question on Moodle? Anyone demand anything else? You want me to work on? I think Moodle I tried to be convenient, so I list it according to topics, right? according to section. I don't list it according to date. 我没有用日期来列，好，本来 Moodle 的原本是这样日期的，好，日期的很乱。以前我用日期，每个星期要调啊，有时候放了，然后要调去另外一个星期很麻烦。So I don't use the date, huh? I leave it there. I use like this, huh? I put section. Practical is always in the practical. Lecture is always in the lecture slides here. Video is always at video, right? And the assignment file question is always here, right? Okay, so let's go to the slides. I'll use this very quickly only, not a long time, just a very quick one, because we want to do more practical today. Huh? Practical is more important. Okay, introduction to Kotlin. Okay, Kotlin is actually a language created by JetBrains. Just now I asked you to download IntelliJ IDEA. Remember just now I asked you to download IntelliJ IDEA. I hope you download and install first. We are going to use that software to do the coding. Huh? Only for today and next week. After that, we use Android Studio. This is only purely to do Kotlin. We use that Kotlin and Java, right? So you can use it for Kotlin and Java, IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, why Kotlin? Kotlin is to overcome shortcomings of Java. Huh? The purpose of creating Kotlin by JetBrains is to make sure the language can solve some problem that Java programmers face. But it doesn't mean Java is lousy. Java is a powerful language. Just that there are something lacking in Java that Kotlin actually tried to overcome that. They add in some language structure in Kotlin to solve problem in Java, such as null pointer exception. Right? Null pointer exception is always like programmer forget to initialize null pointer object. Right? Null pointer exception is very common in Java. Right? So Kotlin has a way to solve this problem. And Kotlin is more concise. Kotlin's code very short, right? The purpose of doing Kotlin is to reduce code number of line that you need to write. 记得Kotlin 的目的只是这样罢了，比较短，写着比较短的 pen, right? You don't want the issue of Java. So it was introduced in 2000, many years ago, but it was officially adopted by Google in 2017. Kotlin became a language for Android only since 2017. 大概5年前Google adopt Kotlin. So Kotlin main feature, the purpose, the main reason why we write Kotlin is concise. The code is very short compared to Java, compared to other language. Safe. What does it mean by this? Later I will start with this. Null safety. Right? So just now I said null exception, null pointer exception. Kotlin 不会有这个问题，因为它可以控制在 compilation time, before compilation already make sure the code is correct without null pointer pointing to null, right? Meaning object declared but not initialized, forget to initialize developer, and then interoperable. Kotlin and Java are friends, are siblings, are brother and sister, right? Kotlin and Java are just the same. Language is different, the syntax when you write. But when you compile, both of them are compiled into Java virtual, Java bytecode that can run on Java virtual machine. They are interoperable. In other words, Kotlin and Java are brothers. Kotlin Java 不管你写哪一个，你 compile 的时候，它都是 compile into Java bytecode, or we call it the binary code of Java, that you can just install the Java virtual machine and run on it. So both of them compile to the same Java bytecode, can run on the same Java virtual machine. So if your computer doesn't install any Java virtual machine, right, you need to, okay, let me go to this. Most of you, I think, should have already. When you install Android Studio, it will ask you to install. You need to go to Oracle website. 要去 Oracle 那边 download 这个 Java JDK。那 Java 就好像跟 Kotlin 没有关系Java 就是 Kotlin 就是 Java， 不同的 language, but compile into the same code, right? Binary code, so runs on the same runtime, same virtual machine. So Java now is Java 18, 17, latest one. So no need to get the latest one, but latest one I think is fine. You can download this. 明白吗 ？Windows 的就 download Windows 的，如果是 Linux 的就 download with Linux 的。Windows, right? If it is Windows, right? This is a binary the installer for you to download and install Java runtime, Java development kit that contain Java runtime that have the environment container for your Java code, Java program, and also Kotlin program to run into. 在 Oracle 的 website 上面。为什么在 Oracle website? OK， 长话短说 ，Java actually owned by Oracle, right? Java owned by Oracle。很多年前啊，诶。No need. Sorry, I didn't see your question. Assignment 1, no XML. Assignment 1 only design. XML is assignment 2. Assignment 2, you do it in Android Studio. Assignment 2. Everything you design in Figma, you make it in Android Studio, assignment 2. Navigation, layout, design, everything, assignment 2. Assignment 3, write the code to make it functional. So 3 assignment like that. Assignment 1, purely mockup, blueprint. 我们这只是做那个蓝图，设计蓝图。Assignment 2, 设计蓝图做好了。We follow the 设计蓝图 the blueprint. We do button, we do the layout, everything in XML. In Android project, you create a project, you do it in Android Studio, right? That project, only the design, the layout, meaning the button can work. The button is there, cannot work, but the button is there, the edit text, the text view, everything is there, design, right? You do it inside Android Studio, plus the navigation, right? You click a button, you can go to another screen. In Android Studio, that is assignment 2. Assignment 3, database, remote API, data, everything you put into it so that it can work. CRUD, C-R-U-D, CRUD function, right? You integrate into your app in assignment 3. Are you clear or not? To answer P. Zhou. P. Zhou, So those of you who have this question, I answer. I hope I answer you already. Assignment 1, just the Figma design. The rest, when you do the Android Studio, there is assignment 2. All right, thank you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let me 讲到哪里去 Java is owned by Oracle. Oracle 买 Java 过来，然后 Java language has been there for 20 over years, 20多年的时间发展了。And then later, JetBrains. What is JetBrains? JetBrains is the company that developed the tool for Java, right? Like Eclipse, right? JetBrains developed Eclipse, right? JetBrains, JetBrains. You go to check JetBrains. It developed Eclipse. A lot of tools Eclipse, PyCharm, even for Python, right? JetBrains, they develop Eclipse, they develop it developed Eclipse, all this software, right? Eclipse, PyCharm, and IntelliJ IDEA, right? So a lot of tools used for development for Java last time. NetBeans, if you heard about NetBeans, you heard about just now Eclipse, right? And even Android Studio. Android Studio, the engine is the same that is used in IntelliJ IDEA. Android Studio is also not a product of Google. Android Studio is a product of JetBrains. JetBrains created Android Studio, the engine, and Google adopted Android Studio for Google development, Android development. Google adopted Kotlin for Android development, adopted Java for Android development. Kotlin is created, this is a language created by JetBrains because they create the tool. So they want a better way to write code compared to Java. So then to solve the problem with Java, they created Kotlin. And then they use Kotlin in, they add Kotlin to their software tool, IntelliJ IDEA. Nowadays, we seldom use NetBeans, Eclipse. All of them use IntelliJ IDEA. If you want to write Python in JetBrains product, is PyCharm, for example. So remember that. Okay, so let's continue. Start the coding now. Right, if you have installed. Okay, wait. Pizo has another question. Yes. you can add a function even after your blueprint. Blueprint is not cast in stone 啊 ，blueprint 不是一个叫什么 ？blueprint 不是一个合约 ，no, it's not an agreement that you sign or cannot change 哈。Blueprint is just blueprint 啦 ，it's just assignment. And then after you submitted assignment 1, suddenly you have a new idea. You want to change the layout. You want to add thing, can, can, Okay, I hope I answer your question. Okay, let's move on. Can you start your IntelliJ idea? Okay, let me start. I show you my project IntelliJ idea. Right, this is a sample project. Let me show you. Where? IntelliJ idea. Right, sample project. This is a Kotlin Java project. Right, so if I want to start a new project, right, you can start a new project. Like all of you, we can start a new project in Kotlin. Right, Java, if you want to start the project in Java, you choose Java. If you want to start project in Kotlin, you choose Kotlin. Can you see my screen? Right, I choose a Kotlin. Okay, let's start a new project called Kotlin in Kotlin. Right, last week, I told you to learn the basic syntax of Kotlin before we start the class. Sorry, I cannot teach you line by line. So I need you to have your effort also. Last week I told you, right? So in W3 school, right, there is a lot of example for Kotlin. So those Kotlin topic that is very miscellaneous, trivial, 很普通、很简单的那些 topic。Boolean 啦，什么是 operator 加减乘除 ，data type 啦 ，integer 啦 ，what is that？double ，string 这些怎样 declare variable，怎样 declare 那个 data type，right？这些我没有教我没有时间一个一个去教我教你最重要的So Boolean string all this I think you know if else 怎样写 if else 这些跟普通其他 language 是差不多一样的。Right, just the syntax is different, but the concept, the logic 是一模一样，只是 syntax 不一样。Just the syntax different, no semicolon, you don't put semicolon in Kotlin, right? No semicolon, you don't put, and then you always have to start the variable with var or val, right? Var, var variable or val value. Val you can only assign the value one time. Var you can assign the value over and over again. It's variable. 这些我不再教了简单这个很简单，所以我要你学完自己啦。如果没有学到，今天回去 ，introduction up to ranges, loop and so on you learn it yourself. Array, right? But I will teach you on function. Function very important. Function, right? So this afternoon, I'm going to target only a few important key essential topics in Kotlin. And after you go through this, you know Kotlin already. Shortcut I do a shortcut. So I basically do a crash course. Okay, function this afternoon. And then OOP. Right, we'll do it using one example. After the example, surely you know. OOP, and then we are going to learn now safety. Only these three. But Kotlin is more than that. So I hope you really learn 花一些心机下去自己再学其他的不过这3个最重要的只有2-3个小时我一定要做完这个So let's start with now safety. Let's create a project called now let me share. We call it now safety. Open out your what is that IntelliJ idea. 剪掉了我的 screen. IntelliJ idea. Where? 我关掉一些 screen 先它很乱。Close. Some of the file, let me close it first. Too many files. I'm opening. Okay. 不见掉了。Okay, never mind. I just share the entire window lah. Okay, like that, easier lah. Okay, so now safety. Let's call it now safety. Link project. Create a new project. Let me come. I think I do first time. I hold your hand. New project. Kotlin now safety. As a word. The folder. This will
Sir,
be
we don't
project
see your screen.
folder name. 什么听得到吗？
We are not seeing your screen.
Not seeing it. 诶，
我们听得到，我们看不到。
我在学这整个 screen 哦，看到吗 ？Can see 啊
Yep, now can.
？Can 啊 ？Can right? Kotlin now safety. Choose Kotlin now safety, and then choose a place to store your project. Don't simply put it desktop or wherever. Choose a right place, proper place to put all your Kotlin project, and later your Android project. Create your folder. Okay, we do a console. We haven't learned Android, so we don't have a UI. So we use console terminal. Terminal program, console program, JVM. Console program. So choose this. This one no need to worry, right? Choose if you have installed 17, Java 17, Java 18. For me, I use Java 16. Or I have other version. Even actually 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, all okay. The Java. Just now I asked you to go to Oracle to download Java, right? So whatever you download, you install already, you appear here. Your Java JDK, So you choose it. And then next. Right? So this one, choose JVM, you can choose 15, 14, 15. For me, I choose 11 because I use it for many years already. It doesn't give me problems. So I either one, you want to use the latest one, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's how you see 18. Up to you. But JVM, I use just anyone you have. I use 11. This one, test framework, don't care. Don't bother. So finish. So you create a new project. So I use the new project. Right? And see or not? Last week we did function, right? Remember last week before the class end. I remember I teach you function, right? This is a console program. Your main entry point is a function. Right? In Java, this function, it looks like this. In Java, it's like that. Public. In Java, you need to have a class to contain your main function. Then you can have public, static, void, main, right? And then this is an array, array of string. In Kotlin, array, and then the type string. In Java, it's like that. Understand? So this is what we mean by a function in Java. Within a class, you need to write in a class. But in Kotlin, you don't have to write inside a class. So you can have a main function like that. Okay. Now we want to do a variable. Let's say variable, right? Variable like a is an integer, right? Like that. Understand? All right. Let's say you want to print the a value, right? But you never assign a value, right? So you can assign. Very easy, right? Print line. So issue is, let's say L, val, you cannot assign a value. This one is the first time you can, but second time you cannot. Cannot. Val and integer. Let me check. Let me run it. I wonder why can. Something is wrong with this. Shouldn't be this one, right? Val a integer. I have to run it first. Right? Let me run it and test. Shouldn't be. The tool should tell me there is an error here. I shouldn't assign it the second time as a val. Okay, error. Just now it's not sensitive, the tool. Okay, you cannot reassign the value. If you make it variable, yes. Can. Understand? This is the first thing, variable. Okay, now I want to tell you, can you assign it to now? Tak boleh. In Malay, tak boleh. Cannot. Why? In Kotlin, just now I said, null pointer exception. This is null pointer exception. When you declare a variable, you cannot assign it to null in Kotlin. In Java, can. In Java, you make mistake. Because can, you make mistake. Because you don't know. It's not an issue in Java. In Java, like that, you can compile. But when in runtime, you clash. You understand why it's null pointer exception? You in the code, you can assign, right? Meaning you forgot to assign. Let's say like that. You forgot to assign value. Then you print. In Java, you can. A doesn't store any value. You just declare, but you never store value. So it's not instantiated as an object in the program. There's nothing there, but you can print. You can compile. But when you run clash, you clash at this line. Null pointer exception. In Kotlin, in order to avoid this, right? We cannot assign, right? There is a notation called question mark. If you put question mark, then can. So this is called null type. Nullable type. Nullable, null ever type. Right? You can null it. Right? So null is a value. In this case, let me print it. Let me run. You can see the result. Can here. You can see the result. How? As can understand now? Now you can put assign now to variable. If you put it question mark, this is nullable type. If I put another one, b integer, this is non-nullable type, right? Then you cannot have null value to it. It must be initialized. Non-nullable type must be initialized. So when you initialize, you cannot also reassign it to a null. Cannot, right? Cannot. Okay, understand that? Right? But if you make it nullable integer, right? Can. This is null safety. This is called null safety. Just now in the slide, safe, right? Safe is this one, right? There are a lot more about this. Let me show you some example. You can refer. Okay, Kotlin official website, right? You have a lot of example here. We don't have time to go through one by one because our subject is Android, it's not Kotlin. But I do want you to learn some important one you never learned before in other language. Let's look at this example, null safety. Just now I mentioned already, right? Null safety. So now we play a few example, then you understand better. Let me give you this one, the link. Can see my screen or not now? Can, right? 可以吗？可以看到吗？也没有人讲话就应该是可以看到啦。
可以。
OK， 好 ，null safety 知道吗？一个 question mark 就解决了。不代表你可以这样子乱到处都放 question mark 啦不是叫你到处放 question mark。It doesn't mean every time you just put a question mark. No, you want to make sure this variable definitely it must be assigned a value. Then you don't put question mark. Right? So you let the tool tell you the error. 明白吗？ The tool will tell you the editor, JetBrains or Android Studio will tell you the error. That is the purpose of null safety, right? But sometimes they want to give you a leeway. 要有一点给你一个空间，你还是要把它变成 null，那你就放一个 question mark，让它可以拿 null. And it doesn't clash the program. It doesn't clash the program, right? It can print. It can use it as a null value. It's a value. So you understand the purpose of setting null safety 不是叫你到处放 question mark， 全部都是 question mark。它的 purpose 是它可以 detect。You cannot compile. When you have a question error here, you cannot compile. Then you wouldn't go to the runtime. Error 不会跑去 runtime 的时候才出现。明白吗？Okay, let's go to the example. Okay, example this one. Never now, right? I give you, I do it inside all this. I do it inside the IntelliJ IDEA， 我把它 copy 过去 IntelliJ IDEA，我们在那边弄。OK 这些 Okay. So this example, I will leave it for you to later. I'll give you this file. Okay, now I continue with another example down there. Okay, this variable, as I say, string, right? Okay so calling very weird calling 有点怪怪的它把 type 放在后面。Java is like that. For Java is like that. String, never now. 是这样子的。If in Java in Java, right? This is in Java. 我们的 data type 放在前面，就好像 JavaScript C++, the type is always in front, and then the variable. Kotlin is colon at the back 记得没有 semicolon Java 有 semicolon, Kotlin 没有 semicolon. Okay, this is an error. Why? As I said, this is not nullable, right? So it cannot be null. You know, right? So how to solve? If you still want to assign null, you just put a question mark like this one, same, nullable, right? So never null, you cannot assign a null so it's not nullable. So if you don't do that, you don't assign null to it. Okay, what about this one? What about this one? You never declare the type, right? You can declare a variable without the type, like this one, B, right? I can do the same like this, C, I see 1. 有没有错？这两个哪一个对 ？Which one is correct？ 没有人回答。有人回答吗 ？Which one is correct? C or B? Both also correct. 这个也对。C is inferred as integer. 为什么知道是 integer？ 因为它是 E。E 这个 compiler 大概猜 E integer 啦，你不用写也可以。Okay, what about this D？ 这样可以吗？可以这样子写吗？不能，为什么 ？Why cannot just do like that? This one can. Why this one cannot? Calling this is calling. Java can. Java 可以 ，Java 你可以 declare 没有 assign. Java like that can. Java 可以这样子做 ，but calling cannot. Why? Why? Because calling 猜不到什么是 D。D is it integer, string, or double, or any type, right? If you declare explicitly, it can. Right? Can. If you don't declare explicitly the type, but you assign a value, also can. But if you didn't do both, cannot. 不可以两个都不做 ，type 也不知道是什么 ，value 也没有，也不知道是什么，到底是什么。So calling cannot assign anything. So you must at least tell it is an integer lah. Start from there. Right? Understand? Okay, now this one cannot. Right? Inferred no null, because when you don't declare the type, right? It doesn't know whether it's a null, nullable or not. So how do you do? Can you put a question mark here? Cannot. 要怎样解决？如果你还是要 assign null, you can just do like that. Right? Then can already lah. Now, so I just leave it there, and then I don't declare, I don't assign. Okay, it can work. Understand or not? Any question for this null safety? 我没有时间很细的讲了你大概明白它的 purpose. Okay, let's write a function, additional function Okay, we write outside not in the main another function. Okay, now this function is called string length. We just want to get the value of length of a string, right? We have so many string, right? 1, 2, 3. So string 1, string 2, string 3. One is nullable, another 2 non-nullable, right? So this nullable one, we have assigned initialize a value, right? This one also initialize a value, but we reassign it to null. And then this one also a string, right? So now we want to call the function to get the length, right? Can we do that? Okay, now let's see. I call this string length. I passing the never now shouldn't be a problem because, right? Because I want to print, return, you return a value, right? The length, So this whatever value, whatever string you pass in, the type is string you pass in, and then you return the length, Very simple. And then you return integer. This is return type. In function, in Kotlin, the return type is written like colon at the back. So this man doesn't return anything. Unit equals to void. 就是 void， 明白哦 ？In Kotlin 没有 void 的void 是在Java 那边 unique void， 所以这个它会 return integer。So we want to check whether it's correct or not. Right? I bring out the integer. Right? Correct. 18 adding. Right? Adding. Okay. Now I want to test this one. Okay. A string length. I test this. 可以明白吗？我在做什么？这个 nullable 我要有个 string now I want to check the length of a now. Can or not? Cannot. 不能。It's not nullable. This value is not nullable. Right? 你要怎样把它变成可以？因为它是一个 null value， 你把一个 null value nullable value 加进去。这个 make this aspect a string, but you pass a nullable string. So how to make this function work for this case? I think let me give you this code, then you can play with it also. 我给你这个 code， 你也是可以玩。I hope you open up your intelligent idea, create 一个 project Kotlin 也在那边写啦，试一下这样。很乱 ，OK， 不要紧，转给你比较容易。OK, I give you the in the context. 我给你这个，用这个来给你 code。OK， 这个我给你这个整个 code 是可以跑的。Alright, I give you this code can run one Alright, so you can test it using your intelligent idea. 你就是自己 copy 过去了copy and paste. Okay, now let me ask you how to make this function workable for this variable. It's string nullable string. 很容易 very easy This one make it nullable then can already. So you pass a nullable string as a variable to your function. Then the function can take null value, can take non-null value. In this case. Cannot. Right? However, there's an issue here, right? You see the error. Right? 又有一个问题，这边是如果是 nullable, not null, right? 它又不会有 length Something null doesn't have a length. So how can you get the property? This is a property, right? Of this not null variable length. So how to solve? It's a nullable, right? Nullable variable. Just put a question mark here. Sorry, not like that. Let me check. Surround with null check. Like that. Not like that. Should be okay one. You can always check how they evaluate you. Okay, like that. It's not question mark. It's this one. Right? So you want to skip in the case where not now is now, and then you don't want to cannot have a length, right? You can have this double exclamation. This is called, what is that? You force the, okay, let me run this program and let you see. Right, in runtime, right, you have null pointer exception. So if you put this double exclamation mark, meaning you allow Java style null pointer exception. Meaning you allow it to go to the runtime only you catch the problem. During compile time, you allow it to go without problem. So this is not advisable actually. Not advisable to have a exclamation, meaning you skip null safety check. This is to skip null safety check. So you allow Java style null pointer exception happen in the runtime. So this one doesn't have an error until you run this line. Because you pass a null to it, so you force, this one force the null exception pointer error happening. Null exception Java. Right? So this one is to force it. Huh? So how to solve this problem if you still want to this code to run without the null pointer exception error? Okay, let me comment out this one. Right again. Okay, the best is you make sure here you don't pass a null variable. You don't pass a null value to your string length, right? You want to find length, how can it be null, right? So but okay, let's say just now, right? Like that. Right? You can do a checking. You can do a null check. Or you use this one, save call. Wait, why is it so? Oh, okay, save call. Yeah, good. Okay, this one is nullable, right? Nullable. So it means that this is either or, right? If it is not null, then return the length. If it is null, return 0. Very easy. This is like if not null, return length. Return 0. So you put in a default base case to skip the length. So this is how you can solve this problem. If you allow the string to be nullable, so when you return, there are two possibilities. If the string is not null is a string, you return the length. If it is null, return 0. Or return any value, return x also can. However, as long as it's an integer, return 0. So let's run this line now. So I can do it. So you can see 0 here, adding and 0. Okay, 吗？看到吗？So you can put in a check. This is called a check. But just now you want to skip this, you just put, you want to force it to have like Java type of checking in the runtime, you put exclamation mark, double exclamation. But this is very dangerous. You skip the null safety check. You put a question mark, right? This is the question mark, right? So this is possible to be null, right? If it is null, you put 0. If it is not null, give it the length. Turn the length. 可以吗？明白吗？I think that's as much as we can learn in this null safety. 已经很足够了。Later in the Android project, you can see some variable have null question mark. So don't be surprised. Question mark being nullable variable. It's a nullable variable. 可以变成 null. So this one is also non-null. So you cannot assign a null to it. Right? Of course, if you want to print the length, can. Right? Print the length of this one. String length. This one you can pass in the variable. So you print the length for you. So you can see the length is printed. 29. 29. But what if you print, you can hear, it's already checked just now, 0. 0 mean now, 0. Any question on null safety? Sorry, I teach very fast because not enough time to teach in very detail. Okay, what about working with nulls, right? So you have situation just now already mentioned, right? You can pass in a variable to your function, parameter to your function with null value. So you can do a check, right? If it is not null, then you return the length, right? This is a long way to write. This one can be written in one line, like just now what I did, right? Like what I did just now can be written in one line. Can be written in one line, right? This is as if you do if, right? You do a if, and then if it is true, you return length. If it is false, return 0, something like that. It's the same as this one. You do an if, and then you return. If it is, you check whether it's null or not. If not null, then you return the length. If it is null, then you return 0, something like that. Same, working with nulls. Okay, null safety done. 有问题吗？ Let me summarize again. data type that you can make it now, the purpose is for the compiler to find out problem in your code. Let's say here's a possibility that some part of your code, the function, let's say expect a value, but accidentally you didn't assign a value to a variable, you pass it to the function. Then in Java cannot check. Java will go to runtime. And during runtime, the program, the user will use your app and suddenly crash. You don't want that experience to happen in the user side. So you want to stop that problem during the development time before you finish compiling, before you successfully compile. So you Kotlin create this null safety checkpoint to make sure every variable you declare, every variable you use in the program, they wouldn't run into null pointer exception problem before that program is being compiled. Right? Not possible if everything is done properly. Not possible to for user to experience a null pointer exception during runtime, unless you purposely allow it. This one you purposely allow it to happen. Using exclamation mark. 可以吗？好，值得明白哈。Okay, let's move on to more interesting stuff. Right? Let's have 5 minutes break. 5 minutes break, and after that, close this program. Close 这个，关掉这个。This code I will give you now. I give you, and close the program. Yeah. Okay, 5 minutes break. I give you the code now. No worry. Sorry, I rush a little bit. 因为我一直想要教多多，不过可能你们吸收不到，不要紧。好，有录下来。好，只要记得calling 里面的 variable 是可以有 nullable 跟 non-nullable 的。普通的 variable 就是 non-nullable，除非你要 purposely allow it to take the value of null， 你放一个 question mark。好 ，OK 啊。Okay, let me give you the code. Okay, let's have a 5 minutes break. 5 minutes break. And then after that, we continue. 5分钟休息一下，然后我们再继续。 Right, student, let's continue. Right, OOP， 什么是 OOP 啊？你们知道吗？Object-oriented programming, I think you learned before, right? Those of you who in Java, C#, C++, very common. They are very purely OOP language. Kotlin is not just OOP. Kotlin is OOP, and Kotlin is also functional. Right? C programming is not OOP. C program there is no object. C programming is function. Right? Kotlin is both. Kotlin is a hybrid language of a lot of with functional structure such as lambda. Last week, right? I told you lambda. Okay, mind later now. This is a very short function, right? You can write using equal, return the value of x plus y. So Kotlin is functional and OOP. So what is OOP? We model everything in the world as a object, right? Every of them has a type. The type is the class. We create a class which represent many different objects of the same type. For example, fruit is a class of apple, banana, mango, maybe pineapple, whatever, objects that share similar type. We call it a class. Right? So in OP, we have concept called constructor. We have concept called inheritance and polymorphism. So all this I'm going to in a short time to explain to you what are these using code. We're going to do it using code. Later we'll have a simple example to try to do. Let me show. Go to the notepad. All right. So when you talk about I remove this one. We have done this one. Done. Right. OOP. When we talk about OOP, this one I think we did last week. I'll talk about it later. OOP we talk about a class and object. And then we have concept called inheritance, meaning you have different class that is with relation, parent, child relation. We have inheritance when we have a class that is the parent of another class, child, right? We call it parent-child relation. And then we have something called polymorphism. Polymorphism is one parent have different types of child, right? You can have one parent, more than one type of child inherit from the same parent, and the child are different, right? The children are different. So that is called polymorphism. And then we have also every time we create a class, we have to create something called constructor. Constructor. Understand? So concept of this, we are going to do it in the one project now. Right? Later, later I show you the example, the question. I sent to you just now Microsoft Word, right? There's a file. Right? This project can be done either using Java or either using Kotlin. But this is only one class, so this is very easy. Only one class. So we can do it together. Right? We can do this using Java or we can do this using Kotlin. Right? So let's do it using Java. So every class or every object, right? Definitely there will be some property. This is called property. Can I write something on this? In Microsoft Teams, can I draw? Let me see. Teams doesn't have the something like Zoom. I can draw on top. Never mind. Let me show you. Just I use my Microsoft Word to draw lah. This part. 这个部分哈，等一下我有找一个形状这个，哎呀 ，not this one， 这个部分我就直接写下去了哈，我直接写，我直接写，right this part we call it properties. Right, properties. So all these variables in the ID, first name, last name, salary are called properties. Right? And then I have another set of so-called the plus mean public, negative mean private. Later I explain what is private, public. Public meaning the property or the value of the function. This one is function, right? So this part is properties, or we call it variables or attributes. And or member variable, we call it member variable, right, of a class. And this part, right, this part, we call it methods or function, right? In Kotlin, it's function. In Java, we call it methods, right? So methods are behavior of the class, and properties are the characteristic, the value. Okay, so now plus means public, minus means private. Private variable or private function are actually the function that can be accessed only within the class, within the same class, not only within the class itself, the name of the class itself. And methods or property that is public, like plus. Let's say this is a class diagram, class diagram. So actually can be accessed from outside of the program, meaning you can have create another class, another object that access this value, right? The access the value, access the function, right? If it is public. So let's refer to this as an example for us to do a program. Okay, first we do a Java program first. Let us start the Java program. Java, use IntelliJ IDEA. You start, don't use Kotlin. And now we do a Java program first for this example. For this example. Okay, let me share the screen first. Right. So for this program, let us create a Java program. Java program, Java. Just now Kotlin, right? And then click Java. Right, Java, we change, we also choose the same Java runtime, Java version, right? And then Java, don't choose any of this, don't set any of this.
So we cannot see your
Yes.
screen again.
Cannot see. I'm sharing already.
Now can already.
Can already. Can, right? Can see, right? Can see, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Java, just choose your Java runtime, the one you install. I choose 16. Next. Don't create project from template. Don't create project from template. Just next. Don't create any template. Next. Right? So give it a name. Now we call it Java OP. This project we call it Java OP. I put it in my Java folder. Right? Java OP. Right? We do Java first. And then you see the how we can do it more differently in Kotlin. Both also work the same. 一样的. Okay, Java OP. Finish. Great. 这个是 Java project. Let's do in Java first. So we are going to create this program class in Java, right? But this program is going to, we want to make sure this program can run according to this version, right? This main program. Now this main program is written already. So we want to create the program like this. This is the output. The console, expected output of the console. Right, so it's going to be able to print the property, the value of the employee, and then the name and so on, the property one by one, right? So all the function that can actually access the property, the function get, whatever, and then the constructor, we do a constructor, we construct the property of this type with this property, the value, the four value, the four value are the four ID, first name, last name, salary. So now we use Java to write this code first. So this file is with you, right? It's in front of you, right? So now let's go to the IntelliJ IDEA. We create a new file. Right here, we don't have the template just now. We don't create a template, right? New Java class, right? Right click, new Java class. Right, we call it main.java. So just call it main. Right, main. 看了，知道怎样写啊 ？OK， 我教你一次罢了 Java Java 其实也是很容易OP 的 concept object concept. Okay, now we want to declare another class. The question is employee, right? Employee， 我们说叫它 employee 啦。Any question？ 有没有问题 明白吗？好，我现在先去这个 of Java 哈 I call it public. Don't put public, just put class employee. 好，每一个 program 只能有一个 public， 只能有一个 public class. 好，我这个 OK employee can understand? Alright, so main program is the one that we want to call the employee class to do something. So the main program we copy the code from here. 看到吗？好，这个 code 写好了的，我们不需要再写，所以 copy from the question, copy this part the code, copy and go to the program and paste. 好，写好了的。哎，只是这些 function 我们要 define， 你就会明白它怎样用。好 ，so the main program we don't have to write. The main program has a entry point that can run. Of course, you cannot run now, right? Because the program is not written, the class is not defined. Okay, now we want to define this employee class. Employee class. 可以吗 ？Okay, look at the question. 看到吗？这个 question. Integer, ID, first name, string, last name, string, salary, integer. 所以我们现在是 declare the property first. Now we declare the 4 property first. 所以我们 declare 啦，这样子啦 ，integer 小写的哈，那个 Java 的 ID, right? You colon 啊 ，Java got colon. You have to follow the colon, right? And then the string, first name, and then string, last name, and what is the 4th one? Salary, huh? Salary, integer, teacher, salary. Okay, can or not? We declare, right? All of them are negative. Negative means they must be private. 知道吗？好，只是加一个 private 在前面。So I give you this code, huh? If you want, you can get it from context I give you.那个 code 你就是可以直接用我的啦，然后你就不用打，right? So 这样子，好 ，the properties. Now we want to define a constructor. Constructor now, these are we have to define the constructor. 什么叫 constructor？ 就是每一次这个 object is the class is created with the keyword new. In Kotlin, no new, but in Java we have a new. Every time you create an object, this is an object. Object of type employee, right? This is a type employee. So object E1, E2, E3 or whatever variable of the type employee. When you create, you instantiate a new object. Then this one you need a constructor of this format. That takes in the 4 parameter 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You want to create an object of this class that takes in 4 constructor, 4 variable values of 4 variable. So you need to create a constructor of the employee that fulfill, right, the same as this format. 好，这4个，所以你要 pass in the integer ID 咯 ，string first name, string last name, and the last one is salary, right? You follow the sequence, 跟着它的秩序，好 ，so do a constructor， 这样子，明白吗 ？constructor。Right, all these are properties. Constructor. Right? Okay, now what do you do in the constructor? You do initialization. So initialization of values that you pass to it, right? Like all these values, right? You pass to the constructor, like 8, like Peter, like Tan, like 2,500, You pass all this value right in to your function that you want to initialize your private property. Right? Private property has no value, right? You don't assign any value now. So what you do is assign in the constructor. That is the best practice. This is called encapsulation. Encapsulation. And information hiding. The private values, the property, you don't want people to directly assign value to your property. You hide them using private, but this is public. All the constructor is always public. So when you pass variable to it, value to it, you actually construct the object. So how do you assign the value? This value like ID, right? You use this ID equals to this ID. 明白吗？你把这个 value pass 进来的 value assign 去给你的自己的 variable， 一个一个就这样子做咯，很简单。First name equals to first name 咯。This first name is this first name. This first name is this first name. And then this dot last name equals to last name. This dot salary equals to salary. 可以吗？这个整个东西叫做 constructor。this constructor will be called when you do this line. 可以明白吗？它会 call 这 line 这个 new 这个就是 call this constructor and initialize the value. Okay? All right. Let's go back to the question. Constructor, right? You see or not? 这边这个就是 constructor 咯。最上面那个 plus the hyper the upper one. Constructor. Constructor is a function. It's a type of function, but no return type. It returns the object. Returns the object itself. Okay, so we want to do some getter and setter function. Get ID, get first name, get last name, get salary. So get is called getter. Set is called setter. In program, in any object-oriented programming, object-oriented. We have setter, or we call it mutator. Mutate, you change the value. And getter is called accessor. Functions. So we always need to declare these mutator functions or getter and setter. 可以吗？我再教你一个很基础的 object-oriented programming。今天这个用 Java， 为什么用 Java？ 因为 Java 先写了，等一下我给你看 Kotlin， 很简单 ，Kotlin 比这个还要简单，很短。Okay, so understand Okay, class. Java standard, all the Java object-oriented programming, go and read. All like that. Always have a constructor or a few constructor, not just one. You can have a few different format. I show you later. And then property, private. Okay, your function getter setter must be public. 可以吗？明白吗？都有了，都 define 了。只要你 as long as you declare here, then automatically the IDE, the IntelliJ IDEA know actually what getter setter you want to set. You don't set also can, but if you set only your program can call. This is getter, right? Get, right? Setter is you change the value. So let's follow this one. Getter, so many getter. We can do more than this actually. Getter and setter. Public function. They are public. So let me show you one time. You just follow me lah. Public get ID. Okay, you need to return ID, right? ID is integer. 对吗？所以你做一个 setter 时候，你要 return the type. Java return type is in front. Kotlin return type at the back. 可以吗？ Kotlin 是 colon 然后 return type. Here Java 在前面。Get ID 看到吗？ Get 你就没有 pass parameter. You don't have to pass parameter, but you return. Return what? When people call this function is public, right? You want to return this value. Integer, right? People want to access the value of ID. So when people call this function get ID, you return this dot ID. Simple as that. 可以吗？ ID is integer, so you return integer. This one is the getter for ID. Right? So we can also do a setter for ID. Setter 怎样做？ Very simple, also public. No return type, void. Right? Setter, you change the value. So set ID. So you actually passing a value, and then you want to assign that value to your ID, huh? So you just put ID passing a value, and this ID equals to ID. This is a getter, return. This is a setter, set the value. Set the value of your ID, ID which is private. 可以明白吗 ？Setter, or we call it mutator. 这个叫做 object-oriented programming 的 function. You write the function, and we make the function public so that people can use the function to change or to get the value. We don't want people to directly access and change the value. This is called information hiding. Encapsulation. Compound encapsulation means you put all the property and the function together, and you only hide the property, but you create public function to manipulate the property. Okay, so now let's continue. Right, so you have 4 variables, right? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of them you can create one. For example, this one first name. 很简单，你也可以做一个 getter for first name. 我们不一定要跟这个 question 啊 ，question 没有啦，它没有全部的 setter， 它只有几个 set 啊。It doesn't have all the setter for name, last name and first name and so on, but doesn't matter. I just want to show you, I teach you. So what you can do is in the program you can do like that. Public integer and not integer string get first name, right? You see, get first name. 很简单对吗 ？Return this dot first name. First name dot first name equals to first name. Sorry, return. This is return. This is not set. Return, return. So getter, getter. I do the getter, for this first name, right? So I do string void set first name. If you cannot follow, it's okay. You see what I do. Later I give you this code. All right, string first name. And you just set the first name. Current first name is equal to this first name. 我写的很快，因为我很熟不过你可能会慢一点，明白吗？每一个 variable 你都应该要有 for good practice. When you write a class, you should have getter and setter, getter and setter. 每一个都要有，照理啦，照理每一个 variable property 都要有一个 getter setter. Okay, 我们 do the rest quickly. Public, right? This is getter, right? Getter, you return the string of get last name, right? Last name also you get. You return this dot last name. Here for this one, get set first name. We also do set last name. Right? So void. We don't return anything. We just set last name. Last name. Okay, ma? So this one is this dot last name equals to last name. 这个 last name assign 进来的 assign to this last name. This last name is this one. Okay, so set the value. And then the salary, we leave it. Because salary is different. Salary has a formula. Salary is okay, but the set salary has a formula. Same, it's okay. Set salary and get salary can. You follow that format. You can follow that format. Okay, let's say set salary and get salary. Public integer get salary. Return this dot salary. And then here the setter public void set salary, right? Passing the salary value, and then this dot salary equals to salary. Right, this is Java get and set. Okay, now we have other specific function that we want to write. Any question now? 可以明白吗 ？Understand or not? 其实不难这个东西就是要明白它的规律。The concept 的规律it looks complex, but actually 其实越来越不难这个 get ID 是用小写，我们刚才用小写了，用小写 OK， 这些都做完了，对啊，都可以了呢，没有 no red line already meaning not already defined all this. 好 ，the object is employee object, right? We have a constructor, and then you actually print, right? You actually access the value, get salary, get last name, get first name, get ID, get the value of 8, Peter, Tan, 2005. If you comment out the rest. 如果 comment 掉这些可以跑了的，这些是可以跑了的，因为它已经有了 function 写好了。好 ，so you can see Peter 8, Tan and 2005. Let me run it. Run. 好 ，you can see that it can run already. Right， 你看到吗？好 ，object this is object 啦 ，we just print the object but here 8 Peter Tan 99999 right， 这4个 value actually we use the get. Right, so this get value actually get the one that is you assign into the object when you create the object, right? E1. Okay, now we continue. Any question on this? Let me give you the code. 有问题吗？ Any question? Alright, okay, now the question has additional get annual salary, right? 我们还有 get name. We don't have a get name just now, setter, getter. With property, there is no name. But the name, the question say, we actually concatenate. But first name, last name 接在一起 concatenate become name. Alright, very simple, right? Get name, huh? So what we do is we want to create additional function called get name. Get name. Right, so let's look at the function here, get name. Get last name, right? Get first name. So we create additional function called get name. Get name. 明白吗？怎样？其实是这个加这个，对吗？所以就是 this dot first name plus string, right? 加一个 space, add a space in between this last name. This one will give you this get name, right? The question is first name and then space last name. So quite easy, right? So we just need to do like that. And then annual salary, how to do? Annual salary, return integer times 12, salary times 12. 这个 function get annual salary 你要 return 就是乘12，一个月多少乘12 ，right? Quite simple, right? Annual is 1 year. Here get salary, we write it here somewhere lah. Public get annual salary, right? Return integer, right? Because salary is integer, so if we times 12 is also integer. This dot salary times 12乘12。可以明白吗？好，这个 question 是这样讲的，跟着它 ，right? Rest salary rest salary with times a percent, right? 好像 increase the salary by percent. Let's say increase now is 1,000, increase by 10% is 1,001, right? Increase by 10%. So we pass in the percent. How many percent is an integer, and then we return a double. Actually, it could be a double. 有时乘了会变成有小数点，不会完全准，不要紧。Even you put integer also can, doesn't matter. Right, so this one rest salary. So we do a rest salary function. Okay, we can write it at the back. Set salary, we set a function called the rest salary return integer. We use integer or double. Right, so rest salary. So what we do is return a integer or double. Rest salary. And then you passing integer percent, right? So you'll be returning a value that is the original salary plus a percent of it, huh? So it's something like this. Return this dot salary plus this dot salary times, right? Percent, right? Percent is divide by 100. Divide by 100, no? Something like that. Right? This is the 100%. This is the percent, like 10%, right? So 10% plus 100%, right? So you get the value total of your salary. Can huh? So this is based on this question. And lastly, to string, we want to print out the employee in this format. Just a string with employee, a keyword, and then ID equals to what? Name equals to first name, last name, and then salary. Name is equal to the concatenation of first name and last name, and salary equals to the value of that property. So we create a toString function for the class. So very simple, right? We can create a toString function. 明白吗？其实很简单啊，只是一个概念啊，用那个 function 来写。可以 we return a string to string， 对吗？这样子咯。The format is like that, right? You want to employee according to this format， 对吗？我们要 print 这个东西出来，把那个 value 一个一个填进去，employee。Okay, what happens is we do like this. Employee and then bracket, right? Plus, and then at the back also another bracket. In between here, right? You have ID equals to, here you add up, which is a function for ID, this to ID lah. You can get it directly from the ID value, right? And then comma, right? Comma, 加一个 comma 在前面，然后 ID equals to name, then name here, right? Name here, and then this part, get name, right? Directly call get name, because here you got a get name already. Get name, right? Just now, get name. Get name will return this string. So you don't have to rewrite again. So you just call get name. And then plus, 再加, 加 meaning concatenate string, right? And then get name plus, here comma, lastly is salary equals, right? So last before this one, you add the value of your salary, right? This dot salary dot, no need to cast. This one is the value already, the string. You cast to string directly, this dot salary. Right, the ID, the salary, which is the question mark. The question mark. So you just print it out. Right, to string. Right, so just now we have to string here actually. Where is it? Here. Right, you print to, it becomes a string. Just now we don't have a to string, right? So now we have a to string. You print accordingly. If you don't have a to string, when you print this value. You print the object address, the object address. But now we create a toString function. Right, so let's uncomment this line. Uncomment, right? All defined already. Red salary, get name, get annual salary. All the functions are defined. Right, so let me run again. Let me run again this function. Run. Right, 你看到吗？现在是 print 这样子的，不是刚才那个 address。Because I already defined the toString method for the function, for the object, for the class. So you actually follow my format. 这些都是可以算得到。你看一年一个月 annual salary times 12. This is the increment by 10%. Right here. Why 10%? Here we increase by 10%. Right? If you want to change to 20% also can. In the program, right? You change it to 20%. So run again. So you can get higher salary here. 1198. 198是它的 increment. 1000是它的 original salary. So this one. Understand that? This is a full program for this one, this question. employee class. Sorry, employee class. 可以吗 ？Employee class. Okay, I give you the code, huh? 有问题吗？没有问题，我还有东西要教的啊。Kotlin 现在是 Java 不了啊 ，just in Java. But inheritance not here yet, not inheritance yet. This is the full code for the class. Any question? I give you time to digest. Give you 2 minutes, 3 minutes to digest. And then anything you want to ask, you can ask. You run it. You can run in your program. You run and then you should see in the console. Right? When you run, the console should print these values. This is object-oriented programming, but only one class. Now we haven't done inheritance. Okay, now let's say I want to do an inheritance. I use the same program to do. Can I give you time to digest? Any question? I'm teaching you Java now. Those of you who never learned Java, after this class, you know Java already. This is the basic, but from here, you go and learn the rest. You should be able to do Java already. Okay, so any question for this? I give you time to ask. 你们有东西要问吗？好像全部人都没有东西问，都会嘛？我有一点怀疑啊。真的学得到啊，抓到啊，很像 C++， 很像 C#。如果你没有学过 Java，Okay, so now I want to teach you some concept called constructor overloading. Overloading means same function or constructor, but different parameter. So in yes sir, all is good. Okay, good. Yes, automatic, right? So it's the like magic automatic. You actually we somehow have this imply already. You see, this to string. Even this one is also to convert to string automatically. Where is it? This one, you see, we didn't call to string, right? We didn't call to string. Call that to string is imply. Imply 就是暗示呀，不用叫也是它会自己会叫。因为这个 print line expect string. Print line expect the value you pass to it is a string, right? So actually it casts. It actually casts the object to string. You actually go and look for function that you declare and return a string. Because print line must get a string. This is one, imply. Okay, now I want to do method or function overloading, constructor overloading. 什么叫 constructor overloading？ 就是说，你这个有一个 constructor 是其中一个，对吗？ You can create another constructor without parameter, like that. Also can. Right? You don't declare anything, you do nothing. So actually this is there. This is called default constructor. Pretty valid if you never write this, but actually it's there. Java 会帮你制造出这个，看不到，但是有，一定要有啊！如果这个我把它拿掉，其实这个我也拿掉，这个 program 还可以 work 吗？还可以哦，只是这个不能 work 啦，这 this one cannot work 啦 ，right? Because you don't have a constructor with this format, of course cannot work. This line cannot work, but you can you can construct using this one. Like that. You can construct using this, like equals to new employee. Construct this one, let's say you don't want, you put E1. Actually can. This is default constructor. 没有东西的。但是这个没有东西，下面就不 work 啦，因为 you never assign value, right? No value 咯 right? If you run, if you run, there is no value. Right? No value. Now. This one 0. Why got value? Because default integer 0. It just assign 0. Here 999 because the program assign 999. So the rest is now. Okay. So what it means is if I never use a constructor in my program, right? I comment everything. There is no constructor, but it will still construct because this one is by default is implied. Right. Default constructor is implied. I never write also got, right? But I want to overload my constructor. This is called constructor overload. Understand? Overload. I can overload it many times with different constructor. For example, I want to do another constructor that is of different format. Like this one, I remove this, right? I call name. I have 3 parameters. So I have another constructor with 3 parameters. So my name, let's say I do a split. Let's say this one is name. And then split whatever. And then let's say I don't have time to write. So I simply write 0 first character to split by space. Right? Split by name split by space. Can. Dot. How to get it? This first one, dot. First. Okay, I don't have time to do that. I need to find the function. Okay, you can actually assign the name to it. And then here, let's say you do something with the name. So this is another constructor. You can have a constructor of different 3 parameters also. But without the, let's say you have a first name. And then you have a last name. And then no salary. Like that. Right? So you do like that. Copy here. Right? These 2 both have 3 parameters, but this one is the integer, the third one. The third one here is string. Right? So these 2 is still different constructor. It's allowed. So in your program, you can create different way, use different way to construct your object. Right? With no parameter, with 1 parameter, with 2 parameter, with 3 parameter, depend on your purpose. Right? This is called constructor overloading. You can have multiple way to construct your constructor. 可以明白吗？ Default one, you no need to write also can. You can just comment out this one is not method. There is one, right? Default constructor, and this one, and that one. What about method? Can also. Method can also be overloaded. Let's say this one. Rest salary. I can also have another function, double. Rest salary. Then here I use percent. I use double. Percent. It's called function overloading. Right? Overload meaning same name, but different parameter, different return type, and so on. Right? So now I return, right? I use different way to write my salary lah. So multiply directly without the 100. Right? This one divide by 100. This one directly, the double. Right? And then it's double. It's valid. So when you use it, if you pass an integer to it, you use the first function. If you pass if you pass a double to it, then you use the second one. Cannot. This is function overloading. Understand? Okay, can understand? Right? Okay, am I loading you too much? Because I try to teach you this thing that can help you, not just for Android, for anything. Okay, so now inheritance still not there yet. Let's say I want to inherit this employee. I want to create someone called software engineer. Employee can be an engineer, right? In your company, right? So you create an object class called engineer. And then you can extend employee. Okay, what happened? Oh, constructor, you need to construct like that. No. What happened? Oh, I forget, I haven't do the constructor. That's why error. Actually, I create the constructor, you let it do. Right? So there are 3 constructor here, right? So you can just create the constructor, right? Engineer. So engineer, if you don't want to define any specific thing that inside the engineer constructor, you just use super. Super keyword is to call. You call the constructor inside your parent. You call the constructor here, parent, to do whatever you want. You construct using the parent super, the constructor in the parent. So you can do like that. This is a constructor for your engineer. So when you extend from a parent, everything that is in the parent you can use, except private. These 4 you cannot access. The engineer cannot access the value. You cannot access the value here. Like the I call it the employee. Oh, okay, never mind. You cannot access the value. I don't want to waste time on that. So if you want to make sure the variable can be accessed in the children, so you can call protected. Protected cannot access from outside. Protected can be viewed, the ID can be viewed from the children, the child engineer. Right? So here, let's say I declare another variable called my ID or engineer ID. Right? You can get the value from the parent ID. This is a parent ID here. Right? But the rest I cannot see, private. If I change this to change it to protected. And inside there you can see already here. You see my name I call it employee engineer name. I can use the parent the first name plus last name. Can access. So you create your own property. This property belongs to engineer. And the rest function whatever function you inherit, you can use it. So you in the program, right? Let's say I create an engineer. I want to print the engineer, right? I want to print the engineer. So I don't need to declare a string in my engineer. My engineer is just like that. So I can declare my own function, also other function. I customize my function also for engineer, but here I don't do anything. I also can use engineer. For example, I show you the example here. So here I create another object called engineer E2, right? New engineer. Okay, so here I copy the same parameters. I change it to 9. I change it to Simon. I change it to Lau. Salary a bit more, 4,000. Now let's say okay, like that. Engineer E2. Right? Now I can print, I can print, I just print. Right? Out to string in my engineer, right? Okay, now I run. Listen. This is inheritance. Just now I said inheritance. This part is called inheritance. Right? So now let's say I want to change my toString. Right? I want to change my toString. This one is toString is employee, right? I want to define again. So this one already defined is okay. I want to change it to engineer here. Huh? And then I put in Java, I put a alias override. This is function overriding. Right? Remember, this is called overriding. It's not overloading. This is called method overriding, not overloading. Override means what? Exactly the same. Exactly the header. Right? No parameter. Return string. Here also exactly the same. 一模一样。父亲跟孩子一模一样的，不过他会拿孩子的。Engineer. So now if I run this program again, you use this one, not the super class. You can see engineer now if I run. Eh, 等一下有 error， 我哪里做错？这里 has private private access to employee。我不能这样子跑这边不能。Private access, right? This one is private. Good, you learn. Right, this is private, right? Salary. This dot salary cannot work because here is private. Right? I want to make it protected. Protected, then can. I run. 学到东西OK private 就不能动can. Cannot. Right? Cannot. This is called inheritance. Right? So one more polymorphism. Just now I promised you to teach polymorphism. Now done already. Constructor done. Inheritance done. Polymorphism. Okay, what is polymorphism? Polymorphism is very simple. You have one children now, right? Engineer. Engineer is an employee, right? So I create another guy. Also inherit from the same parent, but he is also a lecturer. Lecturer. This is called lecturer lah. No more engineer. Right here, I change it to lecturer. Right. So lecturer has a toString. Engineer has a toString. Right. So this is called polymorphism already lah. You also inherit from extend from employee morphism. Right. So if I call lecturer, you use the lecturer toString. If I use engineer, you use the toString in the engineer. Okay, so now I call this, I want to create another guy, right? So, okay, now I can do the same, this one, using the parent employee E3. I use employee as the class, but I create object of engineer. This is the child, this is the parent, right? At the same time, I do E4. 明白吗？ So this guy is employee, right? This guy is lecturer. 两个人变成不一样了。Same parameter, but one is the object of type engineer, another one object of type lecturer. Now you see what happens. Both of them have toString. Both of them have toString, E3, E4. Right? You see what happened? Here I print. Both of them are declared with employee, but declare as an object of engineer. Use engineer constructor, use lecturer constructor. You see? Engineer, if you use engineer object, then engineer. If you use lecturer object, lecturer. Right? You see or not? The code. Both is from employee, same parent, but look differently. 不一样的样子啦，好像这样啦，一个爸爸，哥哥跟妹妹不一样。Right? So engineer and lecturer. So this is what we call it polymorphism。好，我不懂中文叫什么啦 ，polymorphism 就是不一样的 generation 啊，the different you have variation in the child 啊 polymorphism right lecturer is one polymorphized object and engineer is another polymorphized object. Of course you can add your own function, you can add whatever function you like let's say lecturer can teach whatever teach, right? So you can just do whatever you like. Teach is not in the engineer, right? Engineer actually repair. So you can define your own function for specific children. I don't have time to do that, so I just tell you you can do whatever you like. So later on when you create, so your engineer object, right, can repair, your lecturer object can teach. Right, so you can see I just print something, teach, I just print, I teach. Oh, here cannot, not print line, system.out.println, okay, so I teach, right, I print out, I teach. So engineer, I repair, I repair. Engineer 这边I repair, repair 这边 I repair. 所以现在 whenever you call the function, right? Okay, let me put the same work, work. 你才看到 polymorphism, work. But work is different way of working, right? In Android, in what is that? Engineer and also the lecturer, So now I print, So E3 dot work. Come cannot work. Oh, because I create using employee. So what happened is in this case I have to make it back into engineer already because this object doesn't contain the function work in employee, right? Unless okay, I can do this cannot work, right? So what I do, I can create something called abstract method. Abstract method is only with the header but no definition, right? In the parent, because the hierarchy, right? And engineer and the lecturer come from employee. Employee class doesn't have a work. So 我会回去 employee class 最大的那个老祖宗。I can create a function in employee. Right, and then I can make it abstract. Let's say the abstract method, then you can make it this one abstract. Abstract. But you have an abstract method inside your class. I can make this abstract. The rest is still the same. Just say because I want to create an abstract method. Abstract 是抽象的，它没有一个身体要做什么。In the parent employee, you don't define anywhere to work, but you define it in the child. 只有孩子知道要怎样 work. Parent work 因为 too general. Employee, you don't know how it should work specifically. So you can make a function without body. Without body. So what happened is abstract. So here you define it inside the children, right? Just now, right? Here, define it inside the children. Define it as general. So what happens now? You can call, So you can see E4 dot work. They will print differently. So when we run, oh sorry, what is that? Instantiated. Oh, cannot. I cannot just put the abstract method. I forget. I cannot instantiate this line already. If I make it abstract, right? I can still do like that. This one, because this employee I create as an engineer, this employee I create as a lecturer, right? But in this case, if I want to run this line, I must have a concrete class. But let's say we don't care about this one. Let's say 我们假设我们不要管这个。假设我要 show abstract 的概念给你 ，right？ OK， 我们 comment 掉这些。假设假设这些 不要做，我们不要没有这个E1 right? We just want to create this engineer lecturer, right? So it can work in this case. Let me run. You see, I teach, I repay. So engineer and lecturer. Assuming employee, we never create an object of employee. We never create a concrete object of employee, right? In this case, cannot. Why? Because I declare the parent as abstract. Unless I don't have an abstract method here, can. What I can do is I remove this abstract, then this employee can work already. This employee can work already. And what I do is for the abstract class, right? Abstract method, right? Just now this abstract method. 看到吗？这个我不要让它 abstract， 所以我其实可以不要这样子写。I give it an empty body. 身体啦。So this one will be overridden. 你看if in the parent, this is in the employee class. I make it a work that is not abstract. Abstract is like this, you put an abstract keyword. But no abstract, nothing. I do nothing. I do nothing. Yeah. I do nothing. Okay. So I override this class in this method inside my lecturer and the I just put here override. So I override that work. This one is called overriding. Method overriding. Override that work in the parent. I do something here. Right. So same thing for this one. So what I do is now I can uncomment all this. Everything will work the same. 对吗？所以这个 program 给你，然后我们花一点时间写 Kotlin， 跟这个一模一样This is what is this I think I accidentally 忘记 comment Okay, so let me run again. You can see everything work perfectly. 可以吗？明白吗？有抓到那个概念吗？Inheritance, polymorphism， 同一个父亲有几个孩子，不一样的 behavior, different property, different behavior. So property also can be different, like this one, right? Just now your here is called engineer ID, engineer name. Here, lecturer, I can call it lecturer ID. And lecturer name. Or later I can manipulate this value in my setter getter. I can write all my setter getter inside my lecturer for the lecturer ID and lecturer name. Right, so this is a simple example. So I give you this code, and if you have any question, I give you a few minutes break. Yeah, can. Right, a break, 5 minutes break. So we'll continue, and then after that, around 5 minutes later, we'll continue with Kotlin. I'll do the same thing, everything the same, use Kotlin. Very short, the code will be shorter. Okay, let me give you the code. Sorry, I try to teach more. This maybe a bit rush. I will give you time to digest. Hopefully you can digest, you learn something from here today. Java OOP, just now the project. As I said, it's a crash course. 2个小时里面教整个 Java. 精髓啦 ，Java 的精髓。Okay. I give you the code. This one. 整个 Java 的精髓差不多讲完了。最主要 Java 可以用的就是 OOP. It's OOP. So just now the one I give you a break, you just take a rest. After this, next week we can still talk about this, before we move on to Android. So no worry, 不要担心Okay, done, done. Java, 现在我们要走的是 Kotlin， 也是很 powerful. 怎样做的 same in Kotlin, in Kotlin. Okay, so let's take a 5 minutes break. Alright, are you back, student? 再忍一下哈。5 more minutes. Sorry, half an hour more. Half an hour more, huh? Okay, next. We have finished the Java program just now, right? More or less there, huh? So now we are going to do the same thing, but we are going to run it in Kotlin. We are going to write the same program in Kotlin. So let's create a new project. 现在我们用 Intelligent Idea new project. Choose Kotlin. Kotlin is just different syntax, but you compile into the same program. So here we call it Kotlin OOP. Just now was Java OP, now it's Kotlin OP. Console. Choose a console program. Choose whatever given to you by default JDK. JDK I use 16. JVM I use 16. No 16 here I use 11. So you can choose whatever that works for you. Finish. Right? Main function. Delete this. Delete this. This function is the same as your Java function. This one, the program that you run just now, main. So, but this main function in Java, you need to have a class. You need to have a public class that has served as an entry point. But in Kotlin, you don't need. You don't need a class outside of your function. So what we do is we can copy all this. All right, I do it for you. Right, in Kotlin the code is shorter. Let me change this to Kotlin. I copy, right, and then I paste into my Kotlin program. Right here. Let me check. Yeah. So I paste it into Kotlin program. Sorry, Kotlin program. I paste it. You convert to Kotlin. And you see, you ask me, all right, you are padding Java, so convert to Kotlin. Right, so you don't have to worry how to write Kotlin code. In this case, right, print line is Kotlin. No need to write system.line.print line. So I delete all the command here. Right, this is in Kotlin, but it's not defined yet your class. Right, that's why it's red color. So red color. Red color. It's not defined yet. 所以是红色的. The function is not defined yet. This one later we need to change also. Okay, so assuming this is the main function, main function that we want to run. So I just give you this code first. You pass it into your main function. You pass it into your main function. Right, so you get this. You don't have to write this code. So it's in Kotlin. Right, Kotlin. The code, right, for your main function. Okay, now we want to define the class that makes all this work, right? So previously, just now, the same question, we are going to follow the same question, employee. We start from employee, right? So we create this class first, employee class. So in Kotlin, now I'll go a bit faster, because we understand the program already, It's just a matter of doing it in Kotlin. Right, so on the top, I create the class employee. Right, so for employee class, I can define the constructor first, directly. I want to use it for this case. Employee, this one, right? So what I do, I don't have to put a property actually. I can construct it directly, those property that I want to initialize the class, right? So I can use variable. This is integer, right? ID, integer, type is integer, and then first name. This is a type, which is string, right? Last name, string, right? And one more is salary, right? Which is integer. Send. Not difficult, right? So this is how you do it in Kotlin. Very short, right? Kotlin code is faster. You don't need to do setter, getter, all this, right? Later on, if you want, we can access it by using the property .id, right? Unless you make it, you don't want them to be accessed, you want to make them private, then you need the getter and setter. But in Kotlin, the getter and setter is implied, right? If you never do, it's there already. Huh? So if you want to do the getter and setter in Kotlin, let me show you sample code. Code is like this, very short. Getter and setter code in Kotlin is like this. This one. Kotlin, right? Let's say you have a value, default value, right? Let's say I will do it different way. I show you two different ways to do. Right? So this is the second way. Right? Now this is the first way. Employee. Let's say I create another employee class. I call it employee 2. Right? Just to differentiate. Employee 2. And then I don't pass the parameter in. Right? I do the constructor like this. There is no, sorry, not this one. This one I cannot put. Like that. I just put get equals to field. Right? So set equals to like that. This is a setter, this is a getter. So the first one, first name, this is first name, string, right? So let's say I don't have initialization. I can just put like that. Okay? Or I must initialize, the value must be initialized. Right? Empty, let's say. Huh? Empty. So I have a property, which is first name. So I can do the rest. For example, I can do a setter getter for last name. Right? I can do the setter and getter for salary integer. Integer in Kotlin is capital, It's a class. So let's say 0. Right? I can do a getter and setter for ID. Put it on top. ID, So 0. But if I never put this, also can. I can still use the value like that. And this is here, or you do it like that directly, the constructor. Later we can use it almost the same way, Okay, so now according to the question, right? So get value no need already. Later we change it to access the value using the property. All right, so the employee is done. Get is done. Get first name is done. So we just need to set do the specific function like get annual salary, rest salary to string. Let's do these three. Get annual salary, rest salary, and to string. All right. So if you have any question, let me know. Okay. For this case, get annual. We create a function. It's a function, right? You want to return an integer. It's not like that. Return is not put in front. Get annual salary, right? Return is at the back. The type. Okay. The annual salary like that. Bracket. Return type. Right. So this one, get annual salary. Return integer, right? What we do in return is like this. Return, right? Salary, right? This one is a salary. Multiply 12. Oh, okay, cannot. Right? In this case, you want to use the value internally. So for this case, when you construct, here you need to declare a variable. Right? Integer. Right? Where the value is the salary that you pass in. This one. This is a constructor, right? So as I said, you can do like this, or you can do this. You can do like this, right? The salary you use it here, so you pass in the value integer, assign it, or you can put for initialization in Kotlin. The constructor is like this. Constructor like the just now the Java. That's why I said those who like Java, because Java you write a lot of code, so you know it's systematic. All the getter and setter, getter and setter. So here, this one, initialization inside constructor, right? In Kotlin, you don't have, you want to do this also can. You can do it like init initialization. So what happens is you can salary equals to 0, for example. Right, this salary should be, let me see. Oh, I think we can put it like this. Put it here. Yeah. Cannot. Then we have to declare outside. Okay, I try not to do this lah, because this is value already assigned. I remove this. This one you can, I just keep it there for you to know that you can initialize some value here. For example, right, your first name. You want to declare Simon. Initialize, cannot. Or I think if you want to initialize, you need to declare it first here. And then you initialize it. Okay. Why is it so? Bell cannot be reassigned. Oh, okay, understand already. Why is it so? Here, I forget to put var. Var. Right? If not, it's Bell. Right? Just now I didn't put, right? First name is Bell. Right? So, but now I want to make it var. So in this case, this one is no need already. No need this. Initialization, you do it inside, right? Or you, you initialize it here, right? If you want first name, last name. If not, you no need to do initialization. You directly use the value here, salary. Value you pass in. So it's very short. This one you not necessary, right? If you don't never do any initialization, it's okay. So you can use like that. Put var, or val. If you never change it, you just pass in one time. You put val. Never reassign. If you never reassign, if you want to reassign, this one cannot be val. This one must be var. If I want to reassign the string first name, I need to put it var. Understand? Var. The rest you never reassign. So salary, get annual salary, like the question just now. Get annual salary, right? So I can directly define the function. Return. Right? And then rest salary, just now, right? Rest in return a double or return integer. Right? So rest salary is actually return an integer also. Right? So what you do is you will return salary, the current salary plus salary, multiply. Okay, here you put percent, right? Add in the percent. Right? So integer. Percent is an integer. So you multiply integer, divide by 100. No? So this is rest salary. This rest salary is the same as when you do it in Java just now. Remember? Rest salary. This one. So this one. Right? Rest salary, it return integer, percent. Right? So when we do it in Kotlin, rest salary, integer. And then now we want to write also to string, right? To string, right? And then print this one. So how to do it? Quite easy, in Kotlin. In Kotlin, right? To string, right? Return a string, right? Return a string. So the body of it, return. Okay, I just copy. I copy. What happened? Override. Okay, need to override. Just now, someone asked me, right? Automatically in Java, I didn't put override. Supposedly, I should put override also. This one in Java. In Java, it's not compulsory to put this override. I can put an override. To override the default to string function that is defined in the library, the class. So to string, so I can put override here. In Java, this is in Java. So in Kotlin, I need to override also. I need to put override. The override is in front, not as a annotation, it's a keyword. So return, I just copy, copy the just now. I just copy this line. I do the same. Just like in Kotlin, right? So here no colon, no colon. Get name I haven't defined, right? So I want to define the get name. Get name. So what happens is I get name, then return a string. I return, right? First name plus a space and last name, right? This first name and last name come from here. First name and last name, right? I don't even need a constructor, unless you want to initialize to some value, only you define init. I don't need this constructor setter getter, right? It's an additional thing if you want to do. You can do like that, but it's not necessary. For every parameter. This is different way, second way, if you want to do like that. Okay, understand or not? Right, understand, So employee 2, right? We don't follow this way. We follow this way. So the get name done already, so you can find like that. I can make the code even shorter. You see, this one, get annual salary. I can write the code like this. Right, equals. Right, I just pass this here. Right, I comment out this one. So I can write like that. This one you need to return, like that. You don't need to return because the return type is implied. This one is salary. If evaluate to integer, then no need to put. You want to put, it can, but it's not compulsory. The code is concise. So Kotlin on it. Yeah, this is the same. This one is the same as this one. Right? Same thing for this function. I can make it shorter. Turn this value. And this one I comment. Like that. And this one, this function, I can also make it shorter. Right? So fun get name equals to return this value. Right? This one I comment out. Right? It's the same. Same thing for this one. I can actually make it shorter. Right? Just return this value equal. Every function is also an object, so you can assign value. Assign value to a function. The function is the return value. This is the return value. So done. Understand? So no worry about this. We are going to change. Okay, so let me give you the code first. Give you the code. So you pass it into your Kotlin editor, right? You should be able to see, but cannot run yet. It's not fully done. Right? It's not fully done. Okay. The employee class done already. Right? So now we not want to modify this part of the code. Right? Set salary. We don't have a setter getter, right? So we directly access this value, salary, right? So in Kotlin, we can do like this. Salary equals. Okay, let me see. Cannot be assigned. Okay, I shouldn't put bar. Bar. This one should be bar. Because we want to assign the value. Right? Don't put bar. Bar. Variable. Okay, so here, assign the value. So here, get ID become ID, just ID. First name. Last name. And salary. right? Here get name, we have a get name right here. We have a get name. Right, so it's defined. So you can call get name, get annual salary. Right, so this one we comment out first. So can run already. This is the same as what we did just now. Everything the same. You'll be the same. So you print the same result as the previous Java program, but it's shorter. 很短. The code is shorter, very short. Okay, let's run. Let's run, run the calling code. Right, you see, same. It's the same thing that you create just now. Right, I initialize it to Simon, that's why it becomes Simon Tan. So if I never initialize the line, right, this line, so it should tag this Peter Tan. Let me run again. Peter Tan. Okay, so now inheritance. Just now I say I want to teach inheritance, right? So inheritance in Kotlin, how to do? Any questions so far? Let me stop for a while. We only need about 10 minutes more, because you understand the concept already. Any question? Do you have any question for this? So I talked about class, right? Just now, right? This one, object is created in the program, right? Class object. The difference between Kotlin and Java is Kotlin code, when you create the instantiation, right? Use a val for your object, right? You don't put the employee in front. You don't put this. The data type you don't need to put in front, or you want to put like that also can. You can declare the type and then the val, right? So just that short form. If you never write this, is okay. If you want to write this, also can, right? But no new. In Java we have new, but in Kotlin no new. Okay. Kotlin no new keyword. Okay, that's all. Okay, now we want to do an engineer, right? Engineer, and then we want to do a lecturer. We want to do polymorphism. Understand? So inheritance. So how to do an inheritance? Let's create a class, engineer, right? And then in Kotlin, we use colon. In Java, we use extends. In Kotlin, we use colon. So we construct this employee class, right? We want to inherit from that constructor, specific constructor, right? Engineer. We construct from employee, right? Can So the values, right? Your engineer must have the same constructor as your superclass. This is the parent class, right? First way. So we must have this the same copy and construct it for the engineer. Same. Must have the same. Okay, let me change this to without the bar. Don't put the bar in the child, because already defined is a bar in the parent, right? So here employee, right? The superclass also have these 4 parameters. Just put them down. And salary. So can see or not? The inheritance. Engineer with this constructor, right? Let me see. Because I haven't put in bracket. Why is it so? Okay, forget. Right? You want to inherit from employee, right? This is the employee constructor. We inherit from that employee. This is the engineer. Here I must make it open. Only open class for this is in Kotlin. Kotlin class, any class that you want the other class to inherit, you must make it open. You must have the open keyword, right? So this engineer inherit from this employee. So you make it open, all right? So everything in the superclass is now accessible in the engineer, right? Maybe I want to override this method. Let's say the employee just now also create another method called, let's say, work. Let's say work. So this work function return nothing, right? Return nothing, and then I just print line, right? Print line, I do nothing, because this is in the super class. So the function work, I do nothing, and return what you need. Okay, I have to have the body. Do nothing, right? So I want to override this method. Override, just now remember in the Java, we override this method, right? Work. This is in the parent, I do nothing, right? Work. And then in the engineer, right? I do the same, I work. So I want to do the same in Kotlin. In Kotlin, how to do? This one, I need to make it open. Anything you want to override, you want to inherit, must be open, right? So in the engineer, I can create. Okay, wait. Here I do nothing. 明白吗? Here I create a new override. I need to override fun work. Right? So this function, override this function. So what happens is I declare print line, right? I engineer, I repair. Like just now, I repair. So I also want to override this to string, right? To string. So I copy this one. Right, to string, I change it to engineer. Right, the rest is the same. The rest is the same. Okay, now I create another class called copy, lecturer. This is lecturer, right? So lecturer same, same, inherit from this employee open class. Here I teach, right? And here is lecturer. Okay, see what happens. Now we have two classes inherited from the parent, which is the employee. So let's declare it and use it here, right? Okay, so first thing we create the engineer. So this engineer is an engineer type. So this one shouldn't have problem, we can print, right? Just now someone asked me, just print like that to string. Yes, you can print to string, right? You can, by default, you override and then print engineer here. You can see, right? Yeah. Right, so you create an engineer here and then engineer. Same like Java, right? Same like Java. So now polymorphism, okay, here. I create another two objects, E3, E4. They are employee type, but one I create as an object of engineer, another one object of lecturer. So what happened is I print them, right? You see, one should be engineer, one should be lecturer. So employee type, but polymorphism. So in the code. See or not? Different print, different to string, right? Because of different object. Even though both are type of employee. Okay, last but not the least, work. So I call the E3, E4, this lecturer work, engineer work. Both override the method work in the parent. The parent, the work is actually here. Nothing, right? Fun, right? So work, open, right? Not doing anything. But the children, I teach and I repair. So here in the print, in the work, right? Let me run. In Kotlin, you do according to the object. 可以明白吗？一样的 program， 这个是 Java 的，这个是 Kotlin 的。Right, Kotlin 的 code 很简单，很短。Of course, you want to have different constructor, then you need to create another class lah. Employee with no parameter. 如果你 you have another class employee, the constructor overloading, then you cannot put in the same class. You have to create another class like this. class employee. You can overload, right? This is called constructor overload. Or you have another class. Hey, cannot. Let me see. Oh, okay. Then let me find out. Calling so far, I haven't seen people how to do overloading. Let me find. Constructor overloading. I also first time do this in Kotlin, not so familiar. Okay, constructor overloading. Let's see. Right, Kotlin program, constructor overloading. This one is one type, right? One of the constructor with integer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So how to overload? Oh, can. Huh? Just put constructor here inside. Use a keyword constructor. Huh? So you can have overloaded constructor. Overloaded constructor. So this is the default. Okay. So let's say I want to create another constructor in my program. This one, right? Employee with 4 parameter. Now I want to create another constructor here with no parameter, right? So with no parameter. So according to this, with no parameter can, So it's just like a function. Constructor is a function, So you basically can define what you want to do in the constructor. So in the program here, right? Let's say my constructor return nothing, void. No, don't put void lah. Actually, don't need to put, right? It's like something like, let me see. Oh, okay. Why cannot work? I have to put this. Yeah. Have to put this. This, and then the parameter. The parameter. So what we do is here, right? So I put in the constructor. Right. So this, like all this, right? Got ID and so on. I put the ID here. Cannot. ID is 10. This. Can I just put it empty? So what does it do? Okay, let me see. This keyword. This. Oh, okay, I understand. All the 4, so all the 4 parameters still need to be there. Okay, let me see. Oh. Let's place it this. Oh. Oh yeah, I'm not familiar with this. Also in Kotlin, Kotlin very new to me. Also, I haven't done this overloading yet. Okay, let me check. Okay, if I remove it, so I have this. There's a cycle in the delegation cost chain. I think the other way around should do. Okay, let me remove this one. Right, let's say this one, I think we should put it inside here. The default one should be empty. Okay, anyway, I don't want to confuse you too much. We don't have time already, 6 o'clock already. Okay, so just remember that there is a way you can actually overload this constructor also. But assuming we don't want to overload this constructor, we only need this constructor to be used. For this program, yes. For this program, right? When you run, right, it basically work the same like the Java program, right? So inside this program, you can see the element of declaring class, and then you have super class, which is the open class that you can inherit in your subclass. So there is something called inheritance. And here also we have another inheritance. And then we have also this one I just leave it. This one is another way if you want to set one by one, the set and get. So don't do this in Kotlin. Normally people don't do this. Get the value and set the value. So what happens when you want to use it? You basically can assign the value this way. So this is polymorphism, right? Same parent but different children that you construct. So any question for Kotlin? The same program actually, the same program that we construct for this. So but just that in different way, in different language. Yes, right. So if you want to put private, right, there are a lot more work. Get Kotlin with private properties. Kotlin class private property. Right? Okay, so you can see the whole idea of a property is that it encapsulates a field and its accessor in a single entity. If you need to be able to access and modify a property of a class from the outside, you should keep the property public. If you need to be able to read from the outside but not update it, you can define a public property with a private accessor and things like that. Okay, we have to a bit more work here, right? You have to do the getter and setter. Okay, just now I show you, right? This getter and setter. You can make this private, right? And then you use this is when the value, right? The name is public. Then you can set, right? Access the setter, access the getter directly. But I so far I haven't seen much of so-called private. Private you do like this. Right, so you have a getter and setter here, right? Let's say I use this getter and setter. So one of the variable, right? You do like that, right? I copy out here, right? Employee. Let's say the ID. I do an ID. This is an ID. Integer. So assign it with the integer. You don't have, right? Let me see. Okay, set it to integer. Introduce. Okay, I think we cannot put it here, right? We have to use it here inside. If you want to use it inside. So, but again, you jump out my code, doesn't matter. So I just show you how. Okay, let's say these three parameters public. Right? Let's say I want to make it private. This one, right? You have to do a getter which is private. Like that, not like that. Wait, remove private modifier. How to make it private? Is it here? Let me check. Oh yeah, correct. Yeah, private. So this both getter and setter will be private. But here you can make it public. Like that. Wait, is it in front? Getter receiver must be the same as property. So I put this public. I make this private. Okay, let's say this is private. I let it be private, but I want to set it. Get this one is public already, right? You can get. This one is private. Let's say I don't want to. Oh, okay, can. So both also public. If I want to hide one of them, I can just put this private. So you want to control private and public in Kotlin, you can control separately like that. So this one cannot because you want to get, let me see. Getter visibility must be the same. Okay, so if you want this to be private, then you make this private. No way at all you can get from outside. So for setting the value, you want to get it from this value from outside, you need to write a function yourself. Get ID integer right? So return ID. Do we have this function? Okay, it clash with this getter, right? So I just put my get my ID, like that. Huh? So you don't clash with the default getter, right? If you want to get it from outside, you write your own custom function, right? In Kotlin, the default get, right? Either you make it public, you don't do anything, it's public. You don't do anything, you put it here, it's public, right? So it's public, or you write here, it's public. You can make the setter private, yet the field is, the getter is public. Or you want both also private, you just make it private. So the visibility right for these two cannot be higher than this one, right? So once private, everything private. If you want to still get the value, use another field and another method, right? You write your own function to access using another function. Because at the end of the day, it's about whether you want to allow it to be manipulated directly, or you want and through a medium. Like for example, you want to do something with the ID here, right? Before ID +1, for example, then before you return, right? So that's why you can write your custom function to access. Yeah, can. So way wrong. So I hope I answer your question already lah. It's a bit for me, I'm Java programmer. I still prefer Java. Right, Java, right? Very easy to control. But Kotlin 怪怪的怪怪的，这我也是不习惯but it's okay 啦 ，just for the sample 啦 ，sample project。I give you the code, you go and 自己研究一下啦，没有时间教到很细Actually quite 细了，很细了啦，教得很细了这个。你可以自己玩，自己 custom your function to do whatever you want. Return it. So you can still run, this one still work. Still work. Got error already. What is that? Here. Sorry. The integer here I need to change. I need to remove. Okay, no time 了，没有时间去改那个，所以我就把它放回去。I make it back 啦。So this one I just comment out. I comment out this one. You just study based on the code here. You know you can do a setter getter. This one is up to you. You want to whatever. You want to manipulate. Increment ID, for example. You can increment ID. So you can write whatever function you want. You can make everything private. You don't show it here lah. In the constructor, you remove all this. Of course, in this code, I need to do a lot of work to remove everything. You can remove everything, and everything here you do one by one. 可以吗？ Private, 全部 private. 是我们没有时间做。OK， 就用这个 sample 去学了OK ，So 因为一改的话，全部 break, the code will break. All the code here will break. Right, the inheritance 这个改掉，这个全部要改。Understand OK So I give you the code Kotlin OOP. Kotlin OOP Kotlin OOP 做到哪里去 Okay, this one Kotlin OOP. I save it in. I save it in Java. Sorry. I save it in Java project. Kotlin OOP here. Okay, I will upload to Moodle. You just because you are in the class. You take it from here first. It's the same as Java where you can straight away access the variable. Same. All right, almost like Java lah. Because they are sibling language. Sibling language. Just that JetBrains want to create a language that solves some problem in Java, right? For example, null safety. Kotlin JetBrains want to create a shorter code program that is shorter, right? Very short, right? If you look at the same thing that you do here, right? You don't even have getter, setter, getter, setter, getter, setter for all the 4. This one. Right? Getter, setter, getter, setter, getter, setter. But you can get, you can set, you can get, you can set all these 4. But in Java, you need to purposely go and get and set, get and set, get and set, get and set. Getter, setter, getter, setter here. Getter, setter, getter, setter, getter, setter. Right? So it's just to shorten the code. Huh? Make it faster. Huh? Okay, I'll give you the code. Okay, sorry, the 3 hours very rush. Crash course. Learn 2 languages in 1 afternoon. Less than 1 afternoon, crash course. Okay. So thank you very much. And any question? Any more question? Next week, do Android, but I will give you a lab test next week. For Kotlin, simple code lah, OOP, for Kotlin. Use Kotlin to write. Don't use Java. Use Kotlin lah, use Kotlin. Next Monday. Not graded, 没有分数的这是给你试一下写。我给你一个 class diagram. I give you a class diagram. In the class, you write the code. Give you 1 hour. I think 1 hour is enough. You can write the code in 1 hour using Kotlin. Inheritance, polymorphism, class object in Kotlin. So you just practice a bit. Then next week come, we spend 1 hour to try. And after that, we move to Android next week. 有问题吗 Any question? If no question, then the code I put it on Moodle, and then the recording I'll put it on Moodle. So you can watch the recording later again. Maybe I'm a bit fast because today I want to complete quite a lot of things in 2 hours, 3 hours, right? So I was a bit rushed. I admit that, but I hope you can digest, because I want to introduce you OP. Later on in Android, you use a lot of this, OP. We only have a few weeks, 15, 14 weeks. So to learn this, we have to be a bit self-disciplined. You have to learn it yourself. 自己要有多一点功课，做功课。这样我们就比较快能够学到东西。Okay, let me just stop the recording.